Hello, how you doing? Thanks for joining me again. Hope you're well. Right, what am I up to? Well, what I'm about to do is load this XA2 with this 400 speed colour Ultramax, and it's going to be the start of a long-term, I wouldn't even say project. It is what I used to do, which is just have a camera on me all the time, and if a moment happened, I would take a picture, and days, weeks, months later, I would process that film, and there would be a reel of interesting moments from my life, saying something about other people's lives, hopefully, and the state of the world, that are all completely disparate, but that somehow gel together. So we'll see what the results are. Let me load this now, and then I've got to head into the studio to call the lift, wait for the lift to come, and in a few weeks' time, which will be moments in your time, we will see what I've come up with. So Ray, see if I can load the film before the lift doors open. Don't think this lift's ever going to arrive, so I'm going to take the stairs. Okay, so this is the first of the photos that I shot, and it's probably one of my favourites. I love the colours, I love the geometrics, and I love the main point of why I took the picture, which is the chimney stack shadow on the Asda van. Now, you could compare this with the shot that I took on Lemcro Metropolis about a year ago at the same spot with the two Asda vans, and I really like them. This Asda is incredibly ugly in my opinion, but what it does do is work as a fantastic background to the green vans. I'll just say at the start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show two versions of a lot of these pictures. The first is the uncropped, unedited version, and the second is how I would crop it and process it to make it look its best in my view. So that is a harsher crop with more dramatic lighting. So not all of them I've done any cropping or editing to, but I am not somebody who thinks you shouldn't edit photographs. With this set of photographs in particular, it was my carry-around camera, the XA2 in my pocket, so I couldn't swap to a different lens. Sometimes it wasn't possible to get close up. So moving on to number 2, this was taken the day after, and it is a cafe nearby where I get the bus. It's closed on Mondays, and so there's a sign that says it's Monday, come back tomorrow. And it's funny, there wasn't supposed to be any theme to this set of pictures, but it turns out that your mind always creates structure. It just seems to be how we operate as people. So as we go through this set, you'll see that there is a theme. It's possibly food, it's also things being closed. This cafe was closed on a Monday. Moving on to the next shot, it's also food related, and this is a couple of glasses that were left abandoned on a table outside a cafe, and I really like the background because the window painting on the cafe is lovely. I have cropped this one and I've brightened it up slightly because obviously the exposure reading on the camera, because there was so much white, it darkened it a bit, so I've had to lighten it up to get it more as it was. So that's the enhanced version there. And on to the next one. This was a pair of boots left on a wall outside what was going to be actually a cafe. I liked the way the yellow of the boots worked with the yellow of the security poles which are laid down. There's two of those, there's two boots. In reality, the colours were actually much more similar, but there's a slight difference, perhaps due to the film. I was using Ultramax because I was expecting poor weather, but actually it's been brighter than I expected over the last few days when I was shooting, and I just think that Ultramax doesn't render colours quite as nicely as Colour Plus or Gold. Colour Plus is my favourite consumer film, and I try and shoot that whenever I can. So the next shot is very simple. It was just fallen leaves, but it was a tree in a part where the leaves were so vivid red that I just couldn't not take the picture. I've cropped in slightly, if you can see, because the field of view of the camera just took in a little bit too much of the green at the top, which I didn't really want to have in. The next shot, a cafe with lots of open signs. It's a boring picture, really. That's the thing, I'm showing you the whole roll, so not everyone's going to be a banger, is it? And this one certainly isn't. It's just a boring photograph. This one as well, not very interesting. It's saying that it's a cafe that's closed on Tuesday, and I guess this was the day after I'd got a photograph of a cafe that said it was closed on Monday. If you look at the cropped and enhanced version, I've bumped up the contrast a little bit on this. It's better, it's more interesting, but it's still not great. And the next picture, it's Lucy, as you will probably recognise if you're a regular viewer of the channel. And I got a picture of her with these diversion signs because the light was amazing. I think the autumn light is probably the best light you get in this part of the world. It's just that there isn't very much of it. We get a lot of overcast and rainy days, but when we do get sunny ones, the quality of the light and the direction of the light is probably better at this time of year than any other time. And I've enhanced this picture again by ramping up the contrast a bit, but I don't know, it's probably a bit too much. And this shot in Fletcher Moss Park, one of my favourite places to wander, and I love the lights here, the tree which is still green although autumn has come, the sandwich board up, and there's two figures just sat caught by the morning sun on a bench there, and that really makes it, with matching bobble hats, one green, one yellow, but both the same bobble hats, parent and child I would imagine. From the back, not identifiable, I love it, it's really good. Not a photograph that shouts out at you, but just a nice picture, and that's why I have a carry around camera, to catch these little moments that one day I will look back and I think, oh, wasn't that lovely? It's not intended to be an artwork and to hang in a gallery, but it will be nice to hang in my memory. As with this next picture, which is the golf course at the edge of the Mersey River and somebody hitting a golf ball. So I've caught them mid-swing, and I just liked the colours and the autumn scenery and just the everyday life that was going on. I think the thing that actually drew me to this was the building to the right hand side, which doesn't really show up because it's so far away. It's not one that I would go out and shoot, but that's what this is all about. It's having the camera in your pocket and just capturing the moment as you're going along rather than looking for things. This next shot was when I'd got it into my head that I needed to get a picture of a cafe that was closed for each day of the week. I'd got Monday, Tuesday, and this particular cafe is not open on a Saturday, so there aren't many of those in this part of the world, so it seemed like one to get, so I just took this picture as I was passing. Another one of Lucy here, just sat at a bus stop, and it's that thing, we were just waiting for a bus, and I liked the red of her top with the green of the leaves behind the bus shelter. This is another cafe. This one is closed on Sundays, so there you go. What interests me about this as well is that they've covered over part of the sign with the word healthy. I don't know what was under there before, but obviously healthy has superseded it. And this one to complete the collection. This place is closed Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Friday is the only one that I didn't get. I got a Thursday, but not on this film. Unfortunately, I'd run out of film. This shot, I was just waiting to get off the tram in Manchester City Centre. We were actually being held because a tram in front of us needed a restart or something. So I just snapped this. I like the geometrics of the way out signs and the tracks. And this one shot on the same day. There is a lot of new building going on in Manchester. It's been going on for a while now. Huge skyscrapers, huge apartment blocks and offices. Nice to see how they are reflected on the older buildings, and it kind of says something to me. And this one, it was just lovely light and lots of vertical poles, which I liked. Yeah. There's so much street furniture nowadays, it makes it really hard to get a clean shot. Now, it's funny because just as I was doing this, I saw an update for Photoshop, and apparently there's some new tool in it which you can use to remove distractions, and at some point I'm going to have a go and see what it would do to this, whether it would remove all these poles. Apparently it removes telegraph wires and things from skies, which, much as it annoys me having all the street furniture messing up a shot, the idea of using AI to take it out again, it just fills me with a sense of horror, really. But that's just me. You may feel completely differently about it. I'm sure it's the future, but I'm not. I don't believe part of that future. This is a slightly cropped, enhanced version of this scene. I've just boosted the contrast a little bit, just changed the colour balance a little bit, and I think it works really well. It makes all those verticals stand out. And this one, it's what I was talking about before, just the reconstruction of Manchester, the regeneration, as you would perhaps call it. This next shot, there was a road closed in the northern quarter. I don't know if they're filming, they're quite often filming dramas down here and pretending it's New York or somewhere, or it might just be that the road was being resurfaced, but I thought it was quite interesting, all the different colours and all the geometric shapes. And here, it's another cafe. This time it's to let, so it's not going to be open any day of the week. Again, something that appeals to me. abandoned places, things that are closed, being on the outside and wanting to get in, that sort of thing. So yeah, there is always some artistic thought at work, but maybe it's just the pre-thinking that will hopefully lead me to doing a more rounded and thorough piece of work at a later date, perhaps on this theme. And here again, just a little cafe that I went past, and it says live joy, and the light shining through made shadows on the backs of the people there, and I thought that was kind of nice. So if there is a really good picture in this collection, this is it. And yeah, it's not an amazing picture, but I do like it. It does do what I like to do, which is use light and shadow really well. There's one person picked out in this urban landscape, and it's probably very difficult to see at this size, but there are two parking wardens up in one of the windows looking down, and that kind of makes a bit of a narrative there as well. One of the things I do like about this as well is it's the same scene that I shot when I did my Harman Phoenix test, and this is that picture, and it was really washed out and not what I wanted at all. So this is what I hoped to get at that point. That's the thing about film photography. You might get one shot out of 36 if you're lucky that's really good, and yeah, maybe this is it. This one as well I do like. It's looking through the window of Salford Central railway station. There is this photo booth in the concourse just lit up in all the darkness, and I really liked it. I was walking past and I saw it through the glass, and I just thought, that's very lonely, that's very sad, that's something I need to take a picture of. And I think it's come out nicely. It was a very slow shutter speed, but I used my arms up against the glass to sort of brace myself to avoid any shake. And just a couple more. This one, I was just attracted by the bright colours. On Deansgate in Manchester, there's obviously a new bar opening. And this one, I was walking past a bit that I don't normally go by and noticed these colourful bits of street art that have been put up, and somebody walking past. And then one final shot, which was a bus going past some interesting buildings in Salford. And there you go. One roll, shot over the course of about a week, just as and when I felt like doing it. It's just nice sometimes to be able to do a slideshow like in the old days and get some feedback. So if you have got any feedback on these images, on the way I went about it, on how it makes you feel, I would love to hear from you. Please do drop a comment in the comment section below. But that is about it for this time. I didn't shoot an outro, so I will just say please do like, share, subscribe. Have a great week. Enjoy what you're shooting, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.